Hey pilots and builders, I'm Hans with Precision Aerobatics. I've got an XR61 here, and this is our quick refresher video series on setting up your airplane, in particular the radio, and how to set up your throws. Now I'm not going to show you an actual radio, we're just going to talk about it because your menu system may be different than mine. It doesn't really matter what you have, they all do the same sorts of things. They might use a little different terminology. What we're looking to do here though is we're looking to set up our airplane so that our throws one way are even with our throws the other. This is very important on the ailerons because we have basically 4 potential places to introduce the wrong angle. So we're looking for, on our 3D rates, on our maximum rates, we're looking to follow the manual that we've given you, and we're looking to set that angle so that everything's even, up, down, between the left and the right. Doesn't matter which surface you're on, we're just looking for everything to be even. That's incredibly important because if it's not, the airplane's never going to fly just right. So you can go nuts and spend a lot of money on a digital angle gauge. You can buy one that clamps onto the back of your surface. Those are great. I'm all for them, but we've got a little servo here. We don't have a 500-ounce servo in this airplane. So you're putting something back on here, you're adding weight, the servo's going to shudder. It may or may not be the most repeatable method of setting up your airplane, and the digital gauges oftentimes require calibration. What does not require calibration, however, is this. This little guy was included with your model. It's in the clear pouch where your manual was. It's a precision laser cut deflection gauge, and it's specific for your model. So use this and use the manual and find the corresponding angles, and here's what we're going to do. We're going to set up, and if you're revisiting an existing model, you need to look for a few things in your radio. Hopefully it's a new model you're setting up. It's a little bit easier then, but I want you to make sure that your servo direction of travel is proper. It's going the right way, because step 2 is looking at sub-trim. And if you've piled on sub-trim and then you've realized that your surface is deflecting the wrong direction, when you flip that, guess what? All that sub-trim is going to be on the wrong side, and your servo at rest is going to look like this instead of like that. So, actually like that. So, what's next is your dual rates, and this is where if you have an existing radio setup you need to be careful, because our dual rates need to be at 100%, because the next step is adjusting our end points, or our EPA or ETA, whatever your radio says. It's our maximum. Hey, the servo doesn't go any further than this, no matter what we do, what setting we're in, what flight mode or condition, doesn't go any further than this. That's what we're going to set up next. So dual rates to 100%. Then go into your endpoint adjustment screen, get your deflection gauge, reference your manual. I'm going to do this with my thumb. You do it with your radio, and you're making adjustments as you're going here. Find your angle that you're looking for, whatever that might be on your surface, and make that adjustment so that it's perfect. There we go. So again, we want it to be even on both sides of travel, on all flying surfaces. You do that, then your next step is going to be setting your lower rates. That doesn't happen at endpoints. Save your endpoints, leave that screen, never revisit it, because if you make any adjustments there, you're going to make alterations to everything else, because everything else from here on out happens in your dual rates. So as you set your lower rates now, your dual rates for max throws, 100%. That's the angle we just set. 70% dual rates will give you 70% of whatever that is. Now that might not work out to 70% of 50 degrees. Again, use this angle gauge here to set up your mid rates and your low rates, whatever it needs to be, and set it up accordingly. But this time you're using dual rates to make that adjustment, not endpoints. I hope that helped. You can always reach us on the forums, send us an email. Thanks for flying, PA.